If the best moments in your relationship only feel good because the worst moments are so bad, that's not love. That's trauma bonding. And your nervous system is addicted to it. And knowing the difference, that changes whether you stay or whether you save yourself. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found this. And if you're returning, welcome back. This is A Quest for Self, and I'm Allie. Today, we're diving into something I wish someone had told me years ago: the difference between love and trauma bonding. So let's dive in. I was in a relationship for years. I thought it was passionate, intense, deep. We'd have these massive fights, screaming, crying, the whole thing. And then the makeup would feel like the most connected we'd ever been. It was a cycle: explosion, reconnection, explosion, reconnection. And I convinced myself that the intensity meant it was real. That if we fought this hard, it must mean we loved each other that much. But here's what I didn't realize at the time: I never felt safe. I was always walking on eggshells. I'd rehearse conversations in my head before speaking. My shoulders were constantly tense. I was always monitoring my words, bracing for the next fight. My nervous system was in constant survival mode, and the highs I thought were love, well, those were just my body flooding with relief that the conflict was finally over. I wasn't bonding with him through trust. I was bonding with him through chaos. And my body got addicted to that cycle: the tension, the release. And that's not love. That's trauma bonding. And the moment I realized that, it changed everything because I stopped blaming myself for not being able to make it work. Here's what I learned: trauma bonding is when you're bonding over shared chaos, not shared safety. It feels intense because your nervous system is constantly activated: highs and lows, drama and makeup. It's addictive because your brain gets hooked on that unpredictability. You're not choosing them because a relationship is healthy. You're choosing them because the pattern is familiar. Love, on the other hand, love is steady, it's consistent, and yes, sometimes it feels boring compared to the chaos you may be used to. But that's the point. Love doesn't keep your nervous system in fight or flight. Love lets you rest. With trauma bonding, you feel alive because you're surviving. With love, you feel alive because you're actually living. And here's the part nobody talks about enough: trauma bonding can feel like the deepest connection you've ever had because you're bonding through survival. And survival bonds are so powerful, but they're not love. They're a nervous system response, and your body will keep choosing chaos until you teach it that safety isn't boring. It's what you've been looking for all along. So, here's what you could do this week. 1, notice your body. When you're with this person, are your shoulders tense? Are you monitoring your words? Is your stomach tight? Your body knows before your brain does. 2, ask yourself, do you feel alive because this relationship is genuinely good for me, or because I'm constantly in fight or flight? If the highs only feel high because the lows are so low, that's not love. 3, write down one moment this week when you felt like you were walking on eggshells. What were you about to say? What did you say instead? That gap, that's where you're abandoning yourself. Because breaking a trauma bond isn't about willpower. It's about recognizing that the intensity you're craving isn't connection, it's chaos. And you deserve more than a relationship that only feels good when it stops feeling bad. Love shouldn't feel like surviving, it should feel like coming home. And if your relationship only feels good in comparison to how bad it just was, you're not in love. You're in a cycle. And you get to choose whether you stay in it or whether you break it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Quest for Self. If this episode resonated with you, give it a like or share your feedback with me in the comments section. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share it with them. You can find me at The Quest for Self on all platforms. And one thing I always want you to remember: you don't have to earn your way to a better version of yourself. You're already becoming that person with every choice you make. Till next time.